Here's your grid for Junior Road Tax Race 1 here on Sunday at Kerpen. Rafael Renhofer won the intermediate classification after yesterday's festivities and will be joined by Mikkel Pedersen from Denmark on the front row. Current championship leader Farin Mega will start on the inside of row number 2. Alongside will be Nikita Genza in the 226. Janis Diak in the 239 and Nevio Fischer in the 236 ran out row 3. Row 4 is Rafael Balzer in the 217 and the 277 of Louis Reichel. Louis Jacobs and Louis Detling in the 228 and the 201 respectively complete the top 10 on the grid. 11th to 20th is as follows: Leandro Fischer in the 233, Bruno Mulders in the 271, Matti Sturlo in the 242, Jonny Mertz in the 230, Maximilian Schreier, Gregor Feigenspan, Olli Glan, Hugo Göttel, David Schnell, and also Moritz Volber. Bringing up the rear of the 24-strong grid will be Montego Maassen, Tom Müller, Jonas Ungnader, and Adrian Hoer. So a little bit longer for the Junior Road Tax drivers. Goes up to 11 minutes plus an additional lap. And as you can see, the track is still evolving. And the drivers are wondering how many of them are on slick tyres. Well, your guess is as good as mine, because we're about to find out who has decided to do the old Jensen Button routine. Intermediate conditions, slick tyres. Hope the track evolves. Hopefully you get some good purchase on the circuit, but it just depends on how brave the drivers are. And also it depends on their racecraft. Have they decided that this was the best call, the right decision? Well, the drivers are weaving from side to side to get themselves into the zone, get themselves psyched up, ready to race. And all they're focused on is to getting to the checkered flag first out of everybody. 12 rows of drivers, that's 24 competitors. And give or take, we'll have around about 12 minutes of racing action in this first of 2 races for Junior Road Tax. So it's Renhofer on pole with Pedersen, Mega, Genza, Stiak, Fischer, Balzer, Reichel, Jacobs and Detling. That is your top 10. Right, into the tram lines we go. The revs start to rise. Are we ready? And we are racing, and a good start from both Rafael Renhofer and Farin Mega, who get into first and second as the field makes its way down to turn 2 for the first time. A little bit wide there from Mikkel Pedersen, but that allows Nikita Genza to get up the inside, as quite a few drivers like Montego Maassen making moves up the order. Montego Maassen actually made up a couple of positions on the start phase, but now it is Renhofer versus Farin Mega at the front of the field. And look at the gap they've already sprung. Mikkel Pedersen looks to have gone wide through the S's once again. So the drivers pushing like crazy, and Farin Mega looking one way, looking the other. Renhofer going on the defensive early. And that's not one thing you want to have to do in the first couple of moments in this race. But Farin Mega right up the back bumper of Renhofer. There is Nikita Genza being followed by Mikkel Pedersen. Jonny Mertz has dropped down to the top 13 positions as Mega goes for the lead. Up the inside of Renhofer through into turn 2. Renhofer goes a little bit wide. Genza keeps it on the inside, and because of Renhofer going wide, that has allowed Genza to get through. Pedersen's pinning it around the outside of Renhofer and has made the move up into P3. So Renhofer now having to fight back. The sunshine starting to beat back down on the circuit once again. That's more like it. That's the kind of weather we want to see. Don't want any rain here, I'm afraid. Now, Mikkel Pedersen has got an absolute run and a half on Nikita Genza, and Genza's in second place, not just on the road here, but also in the championship standings coming into this round. There's a little bit of drama behind. You've got the likes of Bruno Mulders, Nevio Fischer, Janis Diak in that, and Renhofer's down to around about 6th position. There's the move for second position, courtesy of Mikkel Pedersen on Nikita Genza going through turn 2. Now into the next left-hander and into this sweeping S-bend complex. very deceptive in terms of its pace. You can see them absolutely flying through. Hardly any brake being used, but more a case of lifting and coasting. If you want to do any sort of, you're using the momentum of the car to bring it through that complex. And the slightest of overcorrection can really cause a problem if you're not in a rhythm. 8 minutes and 25 seconds plus an additional lap. Farhan Mega now leads from Mikkel Pedersen by nearly 1.3 seconds, as there's a train and a half. It's being led by Rafael Renhoff, who's got Rafael Balzer and Janis Diak not too far behind. As Balzer goes off. Balzer goes off and onto the grass, very wide through turn 2, and loses positions like no tomorrow, and has just been passed by Mathis Turlo. So Rafael Balzer's misfortune there has cost him big time. So that would have been the likes of Janis Diak getting through. Lewis Reichel would have gotten through as well, including Lewis Detling. And now the train's behind. Now there looks to be a yellow flag of some description, I would imagine. And there is, that's the 218. Ole Glan is out of the race. I'm wondering if Ole Glan has had some dramas, as Rafael Renhofer is right in the battle for the bottom part of the top 10, having started from pole position. It has been a difficult race. Mathis Turlo getting stuck in. Rafael Balzer just behind as well. Gregor Feigenspan in the 211, now 11th position. As here is the battle for second, third and fourth. Pedersen versus Genzer and Mulders. Bruno Mulders, who had that first lap incident with Mathis Turlo going through turn 1 in the first heat yesterday. Mulders has profited big time. So Ole Glan will be the first driver, unfortunately, to retire from this race. Now, I would imagine that with the way that the track has evolved, the drivers are on slick tyres. Now, if you get hung out to dry like we saw with Rafael Balzer earlier on, that's why a driver will go that far wide. But Ole Glan might have had a complete miscalculation and probably might have outbraked or gone a bit wide and tried to put the power down, and it spat the kart out, exit stage left, maybe into the barriers. I'm not 100% sure, but Ole Glan was upright, unassisted, out of the kart, which was a good thing to see. And now with 6 minutes and 9 seconds on the clock to go, Nikita Genzer has got past Mikkel Pedersen and has pulled away. The gap's not that much at the moment, but Nikita Genzer, we know through previous exploits, can get the job done. So Nikita Genzer puts in the fastest lap of the race of 48.077. That indicates to me that the drivers are on slicks, and judging by the glance that I just had, the opportunity to look at the back axles of both Mikkel Pedersen and Bruno Mulders, they are on slick tyres. So the gamble for some was worth the payout. And at the moment, Mikkel Pedersen seems to be having a little bit of a drama because he's dropped into the clutches of Bruno Mulders, and Mulders very shortly could get past. It's not a case of if, it's a case of when does that happen. And I would think that's probably going to happen on the very next lap. 5 minutes and 6 seconds remain, and here goes Mulders. Is he going to go for the move up the inside of Pedersen through turn 2? Gets the job done nice and early. So far in Mega has a lead of just over 1.4 seconds from Nikita Genzer. Ole Glan is a confirmed retirement. Well, it was a confirmed retirement the minute he was upright and out of the kart. So Ole Glan will start from the back of the grid for race 2 for Junior Rotax, which will take place at about 5:02 local time here in Kerpen, depending on any delays or stoppages that we might have that might influence the racing day's timetable. So far in Mega, continuing to lead, but Rafael Balzer is the one that's starting to put in the hot laps. He's doing a bit of hammer time at the moment. Is the number 217 down in 10th position. He's put in the fastest lap of a 47.637 on the completion of lap 7 of this race. We're on to lap number 9. Janis Diak, in the meantime, has got past Nevio Fischer. And that, more importantly, is for 5th place on the road. and is going to start trying to chase down Mikkel Pedersen, who's in 4th place. And in the meantime, now, my biggest conundrum here is this. How come Farhan Mega has now got Nikita Genza breathing down his neck? That, to me, says that there has been a drama. I'm just going to have a look at the lap times now. 48.599 for Farhan Mega. He lost out by over a second to Nikita Genza, so I'm sure that Farhan Mega will have had a drama at some point at the circuit. That's unlike Farhan Mega to make mistakes. Like, I haven't really seen many mistakes from him this season in this championship. Sometimes it's been a bit of no lady luck on his side. But you have one mistake around this circuit, and it bites. And Nikita Genza has found a little bit of purchase, but has also found the fastest lap of the race of 47.499. Now, I did say his drivers were doing the old Jensen Button routine, so there will be some greasy patches on the circuit, and that can catch drivers out. Bruno Mulders is being hounded by Mikkel Pedersen for P3. The Dane goes up the inside of the Dutchman into turn 2, gets the job done. No switchback counter-offensive from Mulders. Well, he did look on the inside going into turn number 3, as they now go through into the S-bend sections, but Nikita Genza is being hounded by Farhan Mega once again. But look at the two behind. They are closing. The gap was over a second last time, or nearly a second last time, between Nikita Genza and Bruno Mulders when they crossed the line after 10 laps of racing. We're about to complete lap number 11. So Genza leads after 11 laps of racing. Top 4 now covered by just under 1 second as Mega closes up in the draft. Going through into turn 2, but was not close enough. Mikkel Pedersen, in the meantime, has absolutely flown through and was exactly, well, nearly 0.4 of a second quicker than Nikita Genza. So Genza's the one punching the hole in the dirty air. Mega's the one following. It's a double toe for Pedersen. It's a triple toe for Bruno Mulders, and you can see now that in the last 90 seconds plus an additional lap of this race, things are now on a knife edge. They're on that precipice point. So it's dependent on who is going to come out on top. 1 minute and 10 seconds plus an additional lap remains. Nikita Genza still leads, but Farhan Mega is going to come under fire very, very quickly indeed if he's not careful. And there's Mikkel Pedersen trying to force the issue. But Mega soaks up that pressure like a sponge. Bruno Mulders has got the ringside seat and is just waiting to see what happens in front, but he's not got time on his side as the 271 from the Netherlands. So Nikita Genza still leading. 35 seconds on the clock remains. So we're on lap number 13. We're going to go on to the 14th and penultimate lap of the race very shortly as they come across the stripe. Genza has now got a bit of a healthier lead, 3.5 of a second. Pedersen up the inside of Mega going into turn 2. Will the Dane get the job done? Yes, he does. And Bruno Mulders also sweeps through and gets past Farhan Mega. So within one corner, Farhan Mega drops from 2nd to 4th at the drop of a hat or a snap of a fingers. As Rafael Balzer, in the meantime, has got past Lewis Heichel for 7th place. Time has expired. Next time around will be the final lap board. And Nikita Genza is helping his championship hopes with this very effort, having got past the likes of Farhan Mega, the likes of Mikkel Pedersen, and got it done early and has kept control of the race. Final lap board is out. And now Bruno Mulders is on the hunt for Mikkel Pedersen. As they go into turn 2, Mulders looking up the inside of the Dane and the switchback happens. And this is going to open the door for Farhan Mega. Mega looking to the outside of turn 3 on Mulders, can't get through. Now through the sweeping S's for the final time. Oh, that's a beauty of a move from Farhan Mega. Right up close, side pod to side pod, sidewall to sidewall. Brilliantly timed, neatly executed manoeuvre there from Farhan Mega. There are yellow flags going into turn 2, so there must have been an incident down there. But out of the final corner, Nikita Genza goes into this afternoon with a bag full of confidence and a win to his credit, winning by nearly 1.4 seconds ahead of Denmark's Mikkel Pedersen. Fine Mega with a neatly timed move on Bruno Molders would see the 276 take third place at the end of what was 15 laps of racing. Molders in fourth, Janis Diak in fifth, ahead of Nevio Fischer. Good work by Rafael Balzer. Has not been out of the top 10, I think, for the majority of this season. Puts another one in the bag with a 7th place finish. Mathis Turlo up into 8th at the end, ahead of Louis Reichel and Louis Detling, who complete the top 10. Gregor Feigenspan in 11th, ahead of Leandro Fischer. Jordi Mertz, Montego Maston having a great run, starting outside of the top 20, finishing in 14th. David Schnell finishes in 15th, ahead of Jonas Ungrada. Tom Müller, Adrian Hoare, Moritz Volber ended up 19th. Louis Jacobs down in 20th at the flag, ahead of Maximilian Schreier, Hugo Gürtel. It's been a disaster on Sunday so far for Rafael Renhofer, as he will start 23rd in the second race later on today. And Ole Glan, after 3 laps, would retire from the race.